Hello, welcome to Shit Happens, where shit always happens. And I have a very dear, dear guest of mine today. I feel like I say this about everybody, but maybe all my guests are just so special. But she's extra special, right? She has the spice in there and the sweetness, and I just love her, and I love how her creativity and her mind works. Like, I just every time I see the shit that she's doing, I'm just amazed by her. So of course I had to have her on Shit Happens. Come on, people, help me to bring on the stage the one and the one who makes Larry looks good.
It's not an easy job to do.
It really isn't. We have to bow down to you, like hell queen, because it's not easy. Welcome to Shit Happens.
Thank you for having me. I almost felt special in that introduction until you said you say it to everybody.
but then I said extra special, cause so like there's levels. They're all in above giant then levels, and you're like right there, and then they're like trying to fight to get there. So
I'll fight for that top spot. Just tell me who. Bring it.
For now, you're good. You're good. You're good for now. Okay. We'll see. When the competition gets a little bit thicker, I'll hit you up like, babe, gotta up your game. They're catching up.
I'll be ready.
How you doing, babe?
I am doing so good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad you finally made it, because if there's one guest of mine who kept my heart going up and down every time when an email came, was Sarah, because she kept on changing her time. And this is funny because I've had people who tell me they're rescheduling to like another day, but she kept playing with the time zone in the same day, but like 3 different.
I'm sorry. I only changed it twice.
But the thing is, I had already made the promos, right? So when you changed it first and you hit me up, I was like, oh, that's fine, because I kind of wanted to use a different picture, because I had used a different picture and I was already thinking about changing your promo. So I was like, that works, I was already doing that. Then when the next one came, it was literally on the day where I was like, okay, I'm going to post them today. And I was like, oh, thank God she did it before I posted this shit. Then so I was like, so are we sticking to this time, or should I hold on a little bit?
This one stuck. I'm here. I showed up.
I love it. And I want to say, I woke up to when I opened my Facebook, Larry's post was the first one wishing happy International Women's Day, and I laughed at what he said, because I remember, and it wasn't just the booth at PodFest. I remember he also had an issue with the booth before. And you guys did an episode where he agreed, you know what, fine, we'll go with your idea. Even when it came to that financial part, how you use this money and how it ended up working, like how you. So I'm like, Larry, at this point, why do you even keep on arguing? Like, let just Sarah's idea go. Like, why do you have to put a fight?
I almost titled that episode "Larry Was Wrong," but for SEO purposes, he made me change it. So that time he was right. But yeah, the first time we ever did a booth together, it was for a women's podcasting conference. Well, it wasn't specifically for women, but the audience was mostly women. So we did friendship bracelets because we were branded. And like, what's more like close to the brand than having your own brand on a bracelet? And with Taylor Swift, it was so in, and he thought it was the dumbest idea ever. He was so against it. We had to bring chairs from other booths so more people could come and make their bracelets. There was not a single person there not wearing a bracelet. They were making them for their kids, for their grandkids. Like, people loved it. So then when we did the photo booth, he was like, this might be cool. Like, he was like a little iffy. And he was just like, I'm just going to let you run with it. And it ended up being so great. So he did post his public apology to me as a tribute to International Women's Day. But we love him.
We love that. And we love a man who can take accountability in public. Like, like don't come apologize to me just behind closed door. Do it in public. But I must say that the friendship bracelets, the ones you did, like even I, when I saw the pictures, I was like, I don't even want to be at the conference, but I want to be at that booth and do the friendship bracelets. Because first of all, and why would Ryan know this? Like, it's women, and who doesn't want friendship bracelets? Like, some of us still have traumatic experiences of we never got given friendship bracelets, so now I get to make my own. And we're like, come on, man, that was a fantastic idea.
It was me. It's a really fun partnership with him because we are so different. We've got me, 28, like super creative, hectic brain, multiple degrees, marketing training. And then he's like in his 50s and IT background, so super data driven. So it's like, could not be more different, but we both really just excel at what we're good at. So it works out like really well. And
you're the prime example where people say opposites attract. Like, like that works, because if it's everybody just agreeing on the same thing, or and sometimes that fire makes even it worth it. Like, like the fire, the back and forth, a little bit worth it. Like, I told you, whenever it's that I told you time, like I told you, like. I just want you to be recording it when you tell Rari, I told you. Like, we need those bloopers, those actions in life.
It was an entire episode. We basically did it twice because we basically did it again after.
It was looking like yeah, okay. But also the PodFest one, like people were just excited because who doesn't like a parrot pictures of themselves, right? And the props you guys had, like people kept on just coming back and back for more pictures. I remember every chance I could get, because sometimes it was packed and I was literally running around with everything. Yeah. So anytime I would see it free, I'd be like, it was one of my top 3 favorite booths.
Excuse me, who is my competition here?
Well, number 1 was Mopad. I don't know how you're going to compete with that.
Always. and they give out alcohol, okay? Like, how are we going to compete?
Yeah. Like, all I had to do was sit there, feel like I'm at the beach and drink beer. Like, there was no competing with that. Like,
all right, I'll give it to you.
And then you came second, because I'm all about pictures and content, like duh. And then of course, shout out to Owl. They came third. Jason's gonna hate me right now for calling him third, but hey, it is what it is. Try again next time. Next year. Let's see.
Challenge accepted. No, that one was fun. People were using the backdrop in their own content stuff. Like, they were having me hold their phones to film TikToks, and everyone, like, what I noticed is people, like, they take so many photos at conferences, but they never take photos of themselves. So for a lot of people, the only picture they had of themselves was taken in our booth. So now, since every picture was branded with our logo, we were getting so much like user generated content. People, for like weeks after PodFest, they were posting the photos from our booth. So it's I didn't even I guess I didn't even register as part of the plan, but I'm pretending that was like totally part of the plan. Like,
run with it. Yeah, that was the plan. That was the plan all along. Like,
it's called strategy. Look it up.
And what I loved about it even was, even though we got the copies to keep, if you lose it, you were still getting an email with your copy as well. So there was no way that you're not gonna have this picture with you. I love that, and I still I know I've posted it on my I posted it on my Facebook. I posted it on my stories, but I still look at them and I'm like, I have a particular part of content that I really want to use them. So like it's still in my head, like, and this was like in January. So now I'm like, I can't wait to see what y'all come up with next year. Like, and this is the best part about this booth, like your booth and even Owl and Mopad, both of them every year it's something different. So I get excited, like, oh my god, this year we did this. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do next year. So it gets me also excited. It also gets me excited about I need to make sure I'm at the branded booth next year, because I don't know what they're gonna come up with. So whatever other conferences you're going this year, just do the bare minimum and keep the best for next year. Because I don't want to see some pictures and be mad, like, why is that booth over there doing that when they should not? I'm not there.
Yeah, no, we started off real strong, and now I'm like, I gotta come up with something People were even coming up to me like, do you help people create booth ideas for expo halls? And I'm like, I do now. Let's talk.
Exactly. Let's talk. Like, I can do that. I mean, have you seen what I did?
Yeah. And the photo booth is just an iPad app that we pay for, and it's like a monthly subscription. And it's kind of pricey, but for the value we got out of it, it's not pricey at all. But then everything else, we just ordered all the props and everything. But we did it again at the end of last month for Speakonomics in Colorado. And I still have the app paid for until next week. So tomorrow my friends are getting married, so they get a custom photo booth for their wedding now.
Nice.
I'm just like, help me get my money's worth.
Exactly. And that's the thing. If it's a monthly prescription, even though it's expensive, you just put it on that month where you know you have things going on, and then you turn it off. So sometimes it's worth it. I tell people, it's an investment, right? Like just like how you say the traffic you got, the new followers, the prospects, the listenership, like all that was worth it because it was also very organic. You know?
Yeah, and with the app, if they want to get the photo, they have to put their email address in. So it's a lead magnet.
You're building your email list. There you go. Yes.
It's all about lead gen.
There we go. I love it. Now, before we get into anything, right, I have to ask this, right? It wouldn't be right for me not to ask this. I want us to talk about the girl with the penis tattoo. Like, what the?
I'm sorry. I've got a client meeting. I gotta go. Hi, it's me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. I'm the girl with the penis tattoo.
To hear the story about this, like you just woke up and be like, we're gonna get a penis tattooed on me.
No, not even a little bit. The tattoo artist woke up and was like, I'm going to cause problems today. I think that's what happened. It was not my decision. It was not my choice. I made poor choices that day.
I mean, but that's the beauty of life, right? We wouldn't be the people we are if we just kept on making good choices. Like,
I have zero regrets about it. I will say that.
So what happened? I want to know, please. Okay. Yes, I mean, like, you know, I won't be able to get into anything until I hear this story. Like,
okay, so I was about, I want to say 22. And I took a solo trip to Ireland for a week. And it was my first ever time like traveling internationally by myself. It was because I was getting out of like a bad relationship and I was like in the bad place. So I was going to kind of just like get some time to myself, find myself a little bit. It was supposed to be
eat, pray, love of your version.
Eat, pray, loving. I was eat, pray, loving for sure. Mostly eating, but I go to Ireland, and the last weekend I end up with a like bar crawling through Dublin with a group of strangers. And one of them, me and him are both like, we should get tattoos. And mind you, like I make my poor decisions in advance. Like I am very meticulous.
Plan ahead.
Yes, I am meticulous about my poor decision making. Like if drunk me is gonna make a bad choice, it's probably because sober me decided it, but then got drunk to like get braver.
No, like the drunkenness made the push, but
yes, but sober me like already had a spreadsheet. So I had already thought about getting a tattoo on this trip, and I had researched the best tattoo shops in Dublin. I did not go to number 1. I went to number 2. Turns out number 2 is actually owned by the guy who started number 1 and then left. So like really great tattoo shop. Apparently. So we walk in and I ask for an airplane, and it looks far more like a penis. And yes, I noticed immediately. Yes, I still tipped the guy, even though they don't even tip in that country. I don't like confrontation. And if you're doing my nails and accidentally cut my finger off, I won't be able to tell you that's not what I wanted. So like I couldn't just be like, yeah, that looks like a dick. Instead, I'm just like, thank you so much. I will never forget this day. And I haven't. So now it's been
you still have
covered up.
it?
It's been
Awesome.
covered. It now looks more like an airplane. I got it covered. But the reason the story exists is because a few years later, I was trying to get my then boss and host of the podcast that I produced booked on Stacking Benjamins, which, if anyone doesn't know, it is one of like the biggest finance shows. And it's hosted by Joe Saul-Sehy, who at this point is just like dear friend, just wrote the foreword for my book, adore him. But I'm trying to get my boss booked on his show. And I give him this big, long pitch of like this. He's all these designations. He's an expert in this and that. And Joe's just like, yeah, that's great. I don't need an expert. I want someone with a cool story. And I guess I had a stroke because the next thing I said was, do you want to hear about the time I got a tattoo of a penis while I was in Ireland? And like anyone else, he did want to hear that story.
Who wouldn't like?
Exactly.
Like that?
It's a great hook. It's a great hook. So without intending to,
You ended up getting yourself on the show instead of your boss.
Uh-huh. I got us both, for the record. Both of us got on.
Because if I was your boss, I'm firing at this point. Like,
He didn't know that. So the episode actually went live the morning of FinCon, which is basically PodFest for finance.
Mm-hmm.
And me, my then boss, and Joe, the host, were all together at a podcaster meetup. And the episode had gone live that morning. So Joe is introducing me as the girl with the penis tattoo. And my boss is behind me like, why is this what we're known for? And I'm like, okay, but they know us. There's no such thing as bad publicity. But it was really great because the way that he walked, like he had to make it, like kind of make a reason for me to be on the show other than this really ridiculous story. So the way he walked me through telling it pulled out so much value from it and like focused less on the like ridiculous tattoo and more on the experience and like what I learned from it and how like it made me more brave and helped me take chances. And I like completely changed my life after that. So that was really the value that he focused on. And it taught me basically how to tell stories. And it's changed everything in my career since, because now I focus on storytelling and teaching other people how to find their stories and tell their stories. My book comes out in a couple of weeks, and it's all about how we find those stories and why we need to like tell them well. And it all stems back from I had a stupid story about a tattoo that looked like a penis.
I love and I believe that I am a firm believer in that, whether it was stupid mistake or whatever, they all have value in your life, right? So and that's why I like hearing the stories, because and especially the more you talk about it, like every time you talk about it, you get a different perspective on it depending on who you're talking with or who you're sharing the story with. So I love that. But I feel like if it was me, I would have just left that dick tattoo on there. I wouldn't even
I covered it before my parents saw it. So they didn't find out that this is not the original tattoo until years later, when I was telling someone else this whole story and they were overhearing it. And they just turned, they're like, wait, what? Like I'm like, oh, surprise.
But I feel like your parents are so cool though. They've just been like, you know.
Oh, my parents hate tattoos, hate piercings. Like I don't know how I came from them.
That's the thing. I'm like, wait, what? Because
no.
And I've seen pictures of you hanging out with your dad, like building the deck, and so to me in my head, it's just like,
my dad's my best friend. Don't get me wrong, and he's like the coolest guy in the world.
But there's still certain things that like no.
Hates tattoos. If he told me like if I got a tattoo or a piercing while I was in college, he would stop paying my tuition. So I got my first tattoo, which is on my back, about a month or two after I graduated. And while I was in school,
as soon as you graduated, you're like,
I got three piercings while I was in college. And he found out about them, but he wasn't mad. So
they say that, and then when it comes to the moment, they really don't have it in them as much as when they say it, but they just have to say it because they're parents, right? They have to act like the parents that
he was trying to like act like he was still in control, and that was like
but clearly like once your child is in college, I'm sorry, like it goes 1 year, and like yes, well, I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do, but thank you for sharing your thoughts,
I appreciate your opinion, but I'm just not open to feedback right now. I only got 8 years. Like when I was in college, like I got a third hole on both sides, which was actually done drunk in my dorm room freshman year with the sewing needle. And then the top
I used
2.
To do all this with
oh yeah, no, those are the only ones I did by myself. Well, my friend did them, but then I got my 2 cartilages. I waited until I was like 25 to pierce my nose, and I didn't get any tattoos while I was in school. Now I have 4.
But don't say sad, huh? It's funny, your first tattoo was on the back, so was mine. My dad's only thing was you can pierce wherever, because I got a tongue piercing, and then I went home, and then I didn't want him to see it because I was scared. So I kept on trying to hide it, but it was still new, so I couldn't remove it. And my dad only, like, he saw it, but it was just waiting to see how long I was gonna run with it. Like, so he pretended like he didn't know, just to let me suffer with it. And then he told his wife, who by then was his girlfriend, and she came to tell me, your dad knows. He's just worried if you're gonna get tetanus or something, because it's silver. I was like, how long has it known? He's like, since the airport we saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. I could have just been chilling here, like. And then he told me, was like, if you get any on your face, I'm disowning you. You can do whatever you want on your body, but nothing on your face. It was like, don't come back with a tattoo on your face or some piercings on your face, because you still need to get a job. I was like, fine.
So it's funny because the weekend that I got my nose pierced, I'd also dyed my hair pink, and it overlapped with my sister, who is older than me, getting her first ever tattoo. And she's kind of like the straight-laced one of the two of us. I'm more of like the wild child, I guess. But she got like this really tiny little sunset about this big on her ankle. And I'm like, all right, so if you need to like cushion the blow when you tell dad, I will first tell him I got my nose pierced and dyed my hair pink. And so he got hit with those plus my sister's tattoo all at once. And looking back, I think we risked giving him a heart attack.
I swear, I'm about like, you couldn't do it like, and you just went like, and then that poor guy was like,
I thought I was softening the blow. I was actually putting his life at risk. Thankfully, he's good. It's okay.
Thank God, because damn, like you just went him. This man is like, God, what did I do to deserve the most rebel kids? Like the things I say, don't go do this, when they really go all out on.
Yeah, but my last tattoo was my dog's portrait, and it's their grandchild. So even my mom's like, well, we can't be mad. It's Harvey. So apparently that's the secret to if you don't want your parents to be mad, just make it something that they love, and they can't say anything.
Look at that. Shout out to our parents, and shout out to sisters looking out for each other, because some sisters, I was that sister, I'm telling. Unless you're bribing me, I'm telling. Let's talk money. How much you got? Otherwise, I'm telling. And I was my dad's best friend, so I would still get money, and I still got tell. I'm like, but don't say it came from me, right?
I already named my company favorite daughter, so like, what more can I do?
And that's what we're going to talk about. I can't believe we spent 23 minutes talking about tattoos. But you have a company, and I remember when I met you and I heard about your company, I was like, oh my God, I want to know more, because I'm a daughter and my dad is my entire world. So when it was like favorite daughter media was like, and after also seeing the relationship you have with your dad, I know me and you talked briefly about how much we are close with our dad. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder I love you, because you're just kind of like me with our dad. So take us to this journey of how favorite daughter media was born. And I know you have, is it two sisters or one?
Just the one. It was a very poignant, it's just me. It was like a one-to-one competition, and
I'm trying to imagine your sister telling her friends or whatever, like, my sister has a company called Favorite Daughter.
I honestly don't know.
Like, so
I
So
didn't tell
why?
her. I didn't tell her, so I honestly don't know how she reacted. My parents thought it was hilarious. I don't think she did.
Of course, your parents are going to think hilarious because we are not the one who went and started the company saying you are our favorite daughter. You went and did that by yourself. So
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's between you and your sister. I ain't got nothing to
I do know. So the first Christmas after I started the company, she got me this really beautiful wooden like desk nameplate with my logo, and it said like my name and like founder. So she has accepted it. I know that. I'm not
I mean,
sure how happy she was.
what are the choices she have? Like,
True.
it's that thing you just be like, well, she did it, fine. I don't have to like it, but I can't
I
not
got the
accept
legal
it.
rights to the name first. Like, you could have done it. But no, it really wasn't even about me when I named it. It was about my dad. It was I was literally Googling like how to name a company and like how you're like what exercises do you go through to name a company, and it was text people that you know and ask them to describe you and think of like childhood nicknames and all of these ways, and I'm like, yeah, fun but not working. And I was just trying to think of like what is so me, and I had a whole list of ideas but none of them really clicked until I was like, well, I've always said I'm the favorite. And then I was like, favorite daughter. And immediately I'm just like, buy the URL, buy the domain, get the handles. Like I need it. And like, it was just so perfect, but it really has less to do with me than it is like my dad has always been the most supportive person. Both my parents are, but my dad's the one that has always supported me exactly in the way that I needed him to, and like kept me grounded and kept me from going like too far too fast. So it was really like paying homage to him more so than myself. I'm not just like an asshole. But it's also like it's a conversation starter.
It really is, because
And
when
it's
you say
memorable.
favorite daughter media, right? Just like talk shit with people, like people literally when they hear shit, they're like, wait, what? I want to know more. I want to do that. You
Yes.
have to make it like people turn heads to one another, because if it was just Sara Media or something, like, okay, there's so many Saras, like whatever. Like.
Yeah. It felt very authentic. It was memorable, and it starts a conversation. Like anytime I say favorite daughter, everyone's like, okay, we need to talk about this. And I'm like,
yeah.
exactly.
And then people straight assume like you're the only child, maybe because that's why or you're like the only daughter, or you're the only daughter with brothers, and then when they realize no, there's actually another daughter.
Yeah. Every time I'm like, that's not what I said. I said favorite. I did not name my company only daughter. It's like I have a sister. But then it's really fun because then I'll ask like, so like if you have kids, which one is your favorite and why is it the youngest? Because it's always the youngest. Mm-hmm. And
I'm not saying I'm the favorite, but I'm saying I'm the favorite.
Uh-huh. But no, it's always the youngest. And so many, like at first I'll just say like, who's your favorite? And they'll be like, I don't have favorites. I'm like, is it the youngest? And they're like, okay, yeah. Or they'll be like, no, it's the middle. And I'm like, see, I told you have favorites. You just have to like, I guess you just need like 2 questions to get there. But it was really fun because then when I built my website, I wanted to have a testimonial section, but I didn't have a company yet. Like I just launched, so I didn't really have testimonials. I was pulling like quotes from like Vince Warnock. I was on his podcast and he said something really nice about me on his podcast. I literally pulled it and put it as a testimonial on my website. Did not tell him for years. But the first testimonial I put on my site said, "What? I never said you were the favorite. Sarah's mom." And that is still there. It is still there to this day, and I will never take it down. I love it. I didn't think anyone would even notice it, but every single person, like,
and that testimony is the reason that's gonna make me contact you to kind of get into conversation with you, because like, wait, what? Okay, yeah. I want like.
Well, because it's funny because before I launched my company, I was working in finance, and I am so not a financial professional. I don't have it in me.
I don't see it at all.
No, exactly. So it's like I spent years like trying to fit myself into that role and into this whole idea of what a financial professional was. And I was like losing parts of myself along the way, is what it felt like. So when I finally left and launched my own company, it was giving myself permission to be authentic. And I was
creative,
like,
as bold as you want.
I'm like, I'm going to lean in, like, go big or go home. It's going, like, if you look at my website, it is completely me. It is like so myself.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like when I looked at your website and everything, I was like, I want to work with Sara. Like the way you just put things together. And it's funny you said you're in finance and you didn't feel. I always tell people sometimes we have this idea of this is the profession I want to be in, and then once you really are in there, you realize like, yes, I might have wanted it and I thought this is what I want, but it really isn't me. I have a friend called Soda. She does artwork. She actually created my Shit Happens logo. And when I had her on my podcast, she was like, you know, I was in IT. I'm like, you don't look like an IT, because you know IT is the bros and stuff. She's like, legit, one woman said she didn't want me to help her because I had such a chippy girl voice and girls shouldn't be in IT. So she ended up creating a different persona for herself, a guy named Chip, and she pretended she tried to make her voice a little bit more manly and everything.
In the age of the Barbie movie, like, how dare you?
No, this was before. That's when she left IT and decided to just go full. So. This was like before, like around 2020, and when COVID happened, that's when she was like, "Fuck this world, I'm reinventing, I'm going full in that creating world." But it's still like I worked in retail. I've had women who, when they look at me, oh no, you can't help me because either my accent, they're like, you're African and you don't speak proper English. I get that all the time, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And that's fine with me. First of all, I don't even want to help customers at retail. I'm a merchandiser. I just want to be there and merchandise. So you don't want me to help you. I'm not going to beg you for me to help you. Go on by your day. Go stand in the line and wait for another person to help you. That's fine.
Making my company so personal to me was not on accident. If like, I don't want to work with you if you don't want to work with me. Like, it's not a brand, it's me. So like, I'm going to put it out as myself and attract the people that want to work with me and that resonate with me. But similar to what you were just saying, I was just at a conference a couple weeks ago in Colorado, and it was a professional speakers conference. So people, it was like a workshop for people who wanted to be professional speakers. And I speak at a conference a month minimum, basically. So like, I'm doing this all the time. I hate it, but I do it. And I was there speaking on a panel. But the first exercise, we're sitting on round tables, and the first exercise is give your elevator pitch of like who you are and why someone would work with you, like how you can help them. And then you have 1 minute to get feedback from the rest of your table. So I give my pitch, and the feedback I get from one of the women at my table is, all right, I have so much more life experience from you. How could I possibly learn anything from someone your age?
Do you have anything to do with this shit?
Exactly. I'm like, you think you're the first person that's ever said that to me? You think I've never been underestimated before? Hi, honey. But it was like, she really thought that way. And like, I felt bad for her because like I learn things from children constantly. Like everyone has something to teach. And the most ironic part was that we had name tags, and hers said her name, but mine said speaker. So it's like, I'm literally in this room to teach you something.
The fact that I got to speak on the stage and I got invited to speak, and you're here asking me. I hate people like that. And that's why sometimes also I hate Women's Day, because there's so many women who put each other down instead of helping, and then it comes that one day we are singing Happy International Day, let's pull each other. But after today, you're still gonna go and do your own thing. Like, I don't see how age or anything comes into play, because sometimes some people don't even have the certificate, but what they've been through is certificate enough. Because I'd rather go learn from somebody who has been through it and persevered compared to somebody who just went to classes, got whatever. Because okay, you have the education level, but they went through it. They have the tools that help them get through it. I want that person.
Yeah, and it's like, I wasn't like I was there to teach from my personal experience. So it's like you have more life experience like in years, but you don't have my experience. But
Exactly. We can all learn something from each other.
Yeah, but it's like I wasn't there trying to be like, I'm going to teach you how to be in your 40s at 28. I'm going to teach you how to be a parent, though I've never had kids. Like, I'm not teaching you things that I haven't done. I'm teaching you like how to do the things I do every day.
As you say, that's why you are a speaker and she was just there for whatever she was there for. And how are you even going to a conference with that mindset? Like, then stay at home. Like, don't even be there. Like, if you have that mindset, you don't need to be in that room if you're thinking that way. Like, you don't. And this is why I have friends who they're in their 20s, they're in their 19s. I'm in my 30s. I have friends in 40s, 50s, because I believe I can learn something from all of them. Because we have different life experiences, we have different careers, we have had different paths, we have different journeys, we have background, culture, all that comes into play, not just age. Like, what is age?
It's meaningless at this point. Like, I don't know, like my business partner, like I said, he's in his 50s. He's like I'm like younger than his children. And I have all these degrees and he went straight into working out of school. And so like he doesn't have like a college degree. I learn from him constantly. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. Does not have any degrees because that's not the same thing. Like intelligence and education are not the same.
Nope.
At all.
You can pass in class and still be the dumbest person ever. Because reading to just pass those exams and get a certificate. Yeah. Anybody can do that.
You can't fix stupid. Like you can't fix stupid. It can't be educated out of you. Like it's just there. So no matter how many degrees you have,
some people even buy the degrees. And the people who have bought the degrees, they actually haven't even earned them. So what does having a degree even have anything to do with anything?
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't like when anyone like tries to be
belittle, yeah,
anything like that. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Everyone has something to offer in the world.
Exactly. You could, and even if you're very curious on what you can learn from it, there's a way to ask it. Like, so how can you help me? Like, let me hear what I can get from you instead of. I'm this age. What can I learn? Bitch move. But anyways, we're not gonna give her any more airtime over here. So let the people know Favorite Daughter Media, what it's built behind, what it has to offer.
Favorite Daughter Media, we are a storytelling company basically, but we use branding and podcasting kind of as the medium. So I work with people to grow their personal brands or grow their business brands through thought leadership, podcasting, whatever it is. So we launch and produce podcasts, podcast coach, teach you how to be a good guest on shows and help you write your brand story, kind of a little bit of everything. As long as I get to tell stories, I'm happy. I don't care what I'm doing. So just help you tell your own story in any way.
I love that. I'm trying to be a good storyteller. So
read my book.
And that's what I was gonna say. You have a book coming up. Share with us about this book. When can we expect it? And I believe there's already a landing page. I believe my details are there. I do get email updates, but for those who don't know, right, let them know.
Yes. So my book is called Open This Book, The Art of Storytelling for Aspiring Thought Leaders. And it is part book, part journal, because it's all about learning how to tell your stories. So I give a lot of different pages and writing prompts so that you can actually work through your stories and actually write them out and learn how to tell them in a way that's really compelling. And that's also able to elevate you as a thought leader. Kind of taking the penis tattoo story and turning it into something worthy of stacking Benjamins, kind of going in that. So of course, in chapter 2, I tell the whole story. And I teach it in my stories. So the whole book is almost borderline memoir because I'm teaching all of these different concepts through telling my own stories. So it's very personal, but also a lot of information. And it's a lot of ways that you can write your own stories and kind of think through different exercises. So it's a lot of fun. It'll be out, I'm thinking, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm working with an amazing designer on fully illustrating it. So once she is done, we're going to be launching it. And if you want updates, you can sign up for updates on my website, openthisbook.com.
I love that. Is there going to be a way for people to get signed copies? Because I want a signed copy. I want to pay for a signed copy. I don't want to just. I want it to have a personal message for Paula.
So it's funny because I actually, I don't have them like in reach, but I have a list of people that I will be sending copies to, just because they either help me with the process or like they are like were super supportive, whatever it was. So without them even buying it, I'm just going to send them a copy. So I bought pink mailing envelopes because everything I do is pink. And then I even had pens made that have my logo and they say, everyone has a story. I can't wait to read yours. With love, Sarah. Like on the pen engraved. And I was really excited because then I can send the pen with the book. But then I tell my designer that I got custom pens made. And she said, please tell me that the pen just says, use this pen, because the book title is Open This Book. And I feel like I really missed an opportunity there. I was so mad. So I think I'm going to add in like a little note card that says, like, use this pen with an arrow.
Just order new pens and the ones you had.
I spent like $200 on pens. But then I want to get custom stickers for the mailers that say like, open this package.
So what you're saying is after this call, I should send you my address.
Do it. Send me the address. You got it.
I believe I've been a part of this because I've been complimenting on the book. I've been sharing it.
You're on the list. Stop selling it. You're on the list.
I just had to make sure, you can't. What's that word? How am I forgetting this? You won't get fed if you don't open your mouth. You don't get fed. Something like that. So you gotta.
They can't say yes.
Yes. Gotta make sure, but because I remember at PodFest, right, when I saw, because remember you guys, Rari's books came to the
Mopad booth.
Yeah, so we had them, right? So when Rari came, they were right there, and you came to pick up the other stuff. And I was like, all right, those are the books for the artist meeting. Can I have mine right now? He's like, why? I was like, because I want you to sign it right now, and I want to be the first one to get it before your artist meet and greet, because I'm Paula. So literally, I thought he wrote something in there, but I didn't read it until later. I was like, because Paula wanted a special message. I was like, wow, thank you, Rari.
It's funny because I don't ever physically write anymore. So my handwriting is so trash. And I'm like embarrassed to be signing books because I don't have a signature. I'm like, I don't know.
I went to the trash. My book better has not just the signature. It better have some.
Oh, it's going to have a letter. It'll have a fully in calligraphy.
With your trashy handwriting, bring it on.
You won't be able to read it, but I promise it's going to be very nice.
I love it. And before we come to an end, I want us to dig in a little bit on you and Riley's partnership with Branded. How did that come about? I love everything about Branded. But first, before we go to Branded, right? I love how your background, right? You really stay branded. Because look at your studio, it's legit like it also goes well with your website. If anybody has been to your website or has seen
everything's pink.
What's the story behind you and pink?
I think I always loved pink as a kid, and then I went through the I hate pink phase, of course, and now I love pink again. Everything I own is pink. But I think it was just because the finance world is so corporate and it's all like the boring blues and grays and like neutral toned khakis and polo shirts tucked in on casual Friday, like super boring, super dull. And so when I was finally out of that, I'm just creativity, let loose, take it off the leash. And I'm just going to make everything pink.
I love it because pink is bold, and it also goes with when you hear favorite daughter media, of course you want those colors, like pink rigid goes with it. And I just love how you brand
my bedroom was pink, Yeah, like it's like my childhood. So, and then I painted this wall. That's the first wall I've ever painted. And the last wall I'll ever paint because that was a pain. I went easy and made it a whole mosaic. And all of the books I've been sent, and then Austin Kleon's book is always right behind me because he's my inspiration. But yeah,
I love it.
and then
Thank you for
branded
taking us to this. Yes, Brandon.
my little office tour of my cactus-shaped bookshelf with cactuses on it because it's super meta.
Of course.
My cactus bookshelf is decorated with cactuses. It's fine. I'm totally not in Texas.
Let's go to Brandon.
Branded is awesome. Branded is the partnership I launched with Larry Roberts of Red Hat Media. And we launch branded podcasts. Is kind of where we specialize and help people grow their podcasts and really become thought leaders. So it's very similar to what I do with Favorite Daughter and very similar to what he does with Red Hat. This is just how we do it together. And we officially launched as an LLC in February. So that was really exciting. We have been working on this for almost a year, but we're kind of just pretending to be a company while working legally under our own LLC. So now we have one together. So really excited. And it started with our podcast. We launched Branded, the podcast, back in July. And we talk about personal branding and becoming a thought leader and content creator and all of these different ideas around how you present yourself to the world. And it turned into, we can help other people do this. So now we have Branded and we help build brands that stick.
And I just want to say, as you said, you started the podcast last year, July. Like this year, July, the entire Branded will be 1 year. But in less than 1 year, the things you guys have been able to accomplish. You have a workout book. Was it a worksheet book?
We have a workbook.
The launch. Yes.
Yes, this is the Do-It-Yourself podcast launch workbook. This is the not for resale author version, but it is a full, really fun workbook with all of the steps you need to take to launch your own podcast, separated into 4 weeks with to-do lists and places for doodles and notes, and it has formulas and fill in the blanks and all these fun stuff. So it really takes launching a podcast and kind of makes you feel like you're doing like a school project as a kid, because we wanted to make it really fun.
Post my video. I did order that book. I have it, but and it's funny because I've already launched. I just ordered it because look how it looks, like the colors and everything.
It's so fun.
I know. It's like it just looks like fun, like and when you look at it, it feels like a coloring book and just
that was like what we were going for. Like the my favorite page is the page for your cover art, because like
oh my god, yes,
like cover art inspo doodles. And I made a little doodle for it too. And then one of them is a chart that you can track like the guests that you want on your show. So of course, on like the first line, I put Sara and Larry, like already filling it in for you. Like, you want us. And even if you don't, we're coming.
We're gonna be there on your list.
Yeah, like you didn't have a choice. We're on the list. Let us in.
I love it, and that's why I say like, you just make it so fun that people want it. And that's how it's supposed to be. Like, I'm not going to beg you to come for me. You're going to beg me to work with you. Like, that's the vibes it gives. And I love it. I fucking love it. Like, as I'm telling you, like, I know I didn't need the book, but I just ordered it. Like, even Lee's book, I didn't need it, but it was so pretty. I was like, and I love when it comes to stationery, like, books, journals, but I just can't help myself. Like, I will just order that shit. But I even created a video, because I normally do unboxing videos. I just haven't posted it because it came right before I went to PodFest, and then I packed my shit because when I was coming back from PodFest, I was moving, and then I came back from PodFest with so much content, and then shit happened, started. So like, now I have too much content that I'm like, I feel like I'm over posting, but I also want to get rid of content because it's
I have the opposite problem. I never make any content. We don't even promote our own podcast. We're so bad. We are very much do as we say, not as we do, people. Like, when people ask about like promoting a podcast, we're always like, go look at our clients. They're doing a great job. don't look at us.
I feel like y'all just need to hire me for your promotional part. I will do all your promotions because I feel like I promote branded more than y'all do on my Instagram. I'm just saying.
Noted.
but
Send me your
I
rates.
love it. But here's the thing: sometimes when your work speaks for itself, do you really need to promote it as much? Like, you know, like who doesn't know Larry and Sarah, branded and red hat and favorite daughter? Like, we don't need to promote it; promotes itself. You know, that's the whole point.
Our reputation precedes us.
Exactly. We don't aspire to be like y'all, so we working. That's why we gotta over promote because we are not there yet. Okay, we're
No,
trying.
I want to be Paula when I grow up. What are you talking about?
My favorite, our last year pictures will still be my favorite. Like, I was like, I didn't get as much pictures with them this year, and I'm so mad that I didn't get when you and Raji were matching for us to get a full-on picture. But I was like, it still doesn't beat the last year pictures we took with, you know. So I'm like, I'm still fine. But so what amazing projects do you have coming up apart from your book that people should look forward to? Are you any events you're going to that people should be hoping to see you at? Because I know you and Riley stay busy and catching flights, so you know.
Catch flight, not feelings. I will be. I just spoke at an education conference last week, and in 2 weeks we're heading to Orlando because I'm speaking at a real estate conference and gonna talk to some real estate agents about getting them a podcast. But we have a couple of our clients are about to launch, so look out for them. Women's Share is one of our shows that's been going on, but they are fantastic, and they're really promoting International Women's Month, Women's History Month right now. But we've got the Health Marketing Collective is about to launch. They just dropped their trailer. And right after this, I'm going to go chat with one of our other new clients that's going to be launching pretty soon. His is the Body Mind Body Marathon, all about health and fitness. And he's a former marathon runner, elite runner. So a lot of fun. We've got some good stuff coming up.
I love it. I love how you stay busy and you keep doing your shit. Again, as I said, I aspire to be like you. You know, when I grow up, I wanna be like you. You know, but I love you, and I just love your energy and everything you do. Like, you inspire me. Like, that's the fucking truth. And I just love watching what you do. And it's fun because I get to do International Women's Day with you because you are really one of the women who inspires me. So it's even extra special. But I also want you share the tattoo of your dog, and for those people who don't know, right? Every holiday where y'all are looking forward to pajama, family pajama shit, I just look forward to Sarah and her dog's pictures. So, tell us a little bit about your dog and the name, so let people know, because you know we have so many dog lovers on Shit Happens.
He has his own Instagram.
You see? Let us know so we can go follow and keep up.
Everyone follow my dog on Instagram. It is at Harvey to the rescue. He's the one that is a cattle dog, German Shepherd looking one, because there's apparently someone else has the same handle. But no, he's a rescue pup. I got him from the shelter when he was 9 months old. He was a fixer-upper, but now he's the world's goodest boy, and we love him. He is my office manager. He is doing a great job of napping right now. And he is just my entire life.
So much work. You're overworking him. He needed to take a nap.
He's been a trooper. I've been traveling at least once a month for conferences and stuff. So he's been going to one of my neighbors. I call them his grandparents. So I've been feeling real bad. So I've started actually cooking him dinner every night. Like he gets home cooked dinners. I don't even cook for myself.
I feel that because you also know in your head, you know, in 2 weeks I'm also leaving again. So let me just already start saving them.
It's like for him, he gets a very like balanced, healthy, home cooked meal, and then for me, I'm like, Pop-Tarts are technically a square meal, right? It's a square.
I mean, it is like bread, and you know, it's healthy, right? So it is what it is. Yeah. Especially if you toast it, it's toasted, it's warm.
Yeah, I'm not doing well. But my dog is doing great.
I mean, you work hard so they can have a good life. That's how it is. You're not working hard for yourself. You're working hard for him.
Of course.
Wow, awesome. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw, if you have it, I'll send it to you. When I was building my house, every time I went to visit the house, I took a picture of him in front of it in like a flannel with a tool belt. So I have a photo series of him having built my house.
I need to see that now. Oh my God, I love that. But
I posted them, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, speaking of building your house, right? Which is also very impressive. Like, God damn it, you're doing things that we all aspire to do. How was that process, and what made you want to build instead?
It was the worst. Don't do it, especially if you have anxiety. Oh God, no. Looking back, I'm pretty sure I built my house as an ADHD fixation because I just like decided one day like I should build a house, and then the next day I was looking at houses and on a wait list. So there was no planning. I had no money saved. So I built instead of bought, because when you build, you get to lock your price in, but you don't pay for it till it's done. So I bought myself a year and a half to save by down payment. And so I saved for, I think I got on the wait list in January of 2021, and then I didn't close until July of 2022. So I had like a year and a half to save my down payment.
That's amazing. And you and most of it, like, because I saw you doing the deck, you built it. So did you build most of it yourself, or some like with help?
The deck or the house?
The house.
Oh God, no. They don't give me power tools. No, I'm not.
So just the deck. So just the deck.
I had this house built.
All those pictures on the deck, you were just posing for them, but your dad did.
I did help with the deck. I did help with the deck. It was mostly a screwdriver, so not too difficult. I did use the saw, terrified everyone around me. But house, no. I picked things out. I designed stuff. I got my balcony off my bedroom that I wanted, and the 2 giant master closets, so I could basically rent one out as a bedroom if I wanted to. So I got everything I wanted, but I did not personally build it. And my dad gets mad at me because I call it my starter home. And he's like, my starter home was like a shed, and yours has a balcony.
Okay,
but it's my first one, so it makes it a starter.
It is, but it's also like, damn girl, like, when somebody has their first car and it's like a BMW or a Tesla, and you're like, my first car was like a Corolla with like, you had to
my first car was a hand-me-down from my great-grandfather.
But you see, you had that as a starter for a car, and look at the house you have as a starter.
We're moving up.
We are. But thank you so much. We're coming to the end, and I have to ask one question, right? You do all this stuff, right? You have your own company, you have a company with Rai, you do all these other amazing things. You are a daughter, you are a sister, you are a dog mom. How do you keep your mental health sane and discipline yourself when things are just piling up? Because it's a lot, right?
Store-bought serotonin. I am highly medicated. Highly. I am on several drugs. So no, I struggle with it every day. Doing all of this, and then also, I mean, I have depression, anxiety, and ADHD. So it's not easy. But I have managed to accomplish a lot while still struggling with my mental health. And if I do ever manage to get it in check, I'm going to be unstoppable. So y'all just wait. I'm going to take over the world once I can stop like hyperfixating on random.
You're already doing that. You're already on your way. You're already on your way.
But no, I mean, I'm in therapy. I meet with a psychiatrist who helps me with medications, and I am trying to prioritize my mental health a lot. So if anyone else is, medication should not be stigmatized. Go get drugs.
Yep.
Live laugh Lexapro.
Whatever that you need that helps you, go do it. Don't listen to other people just because they have a thing with it. That's not your story. That's their story.
I put it off for years because I felt like there was like too much of a stigma. I felt like I was letting my family down if I admitted to like having mental issues. So I did not get on them as when I should have, and my life would have been a lot better if I had.
I need to have you back on Shit Happens so we can talk more on the mental health journeys and stuff, because I'm
I'd
a
be happy
depressed
to.
bitch as well, and I love having those conversations. But it's coming to an hour, and I gotta let you go. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here and celebrating International Women's Day for me. People, go follow Sarah and everything that she's doing.
And
Go
Harvey.
be on the and Harvey, yes, go be on the email list so you can get updated on the book. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being on Shit Happens, where shit always happens.